flag. Since once a third council person gets involved in a development deal that's not open to the public, it could be considered an illegal serial meeting, according to the Brown Act governmental open government law. So you may now be regretting sending me for all those trainings, but I'd love to find out if the city attorney has any need to consider that. That's the purpose of my speaking today. Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Jess Thomas, followed by Larry Brown.
Council members, Mayor Coleman, and staff, Jess Thomas, 6064 Chesbro Road, Agoura Hills. I'm here tonight to make a few comments about the ongoing Chesbro Meadow issues and the processes that we've been involved with. Well, we're not here just to be contrary. Everything we do is based on developed principle arrived at by consensus on our board. As to the issue of Chesbro Meadow, we intend to prove that it is an integral and critical part of the local ecosystem which supports the balance of nature. We are now experiencing an ongoing drought, and 2013 was the driest year on record. As a result, many of the wildlife trails that lead down from the slopes into the valley have disappeared. But we still have recent photographic proof that many animals feed and hunt in the valley floor today. The proposed development of equestrian estates in the valley floor is a bad idea for two distinct reasons. There are already many fully permitted equestrian lawns for sale at the north end of Chesbro Road. They have been languishing for years now. More new ones would be a glut on the market. More homes a quarter of a mile closer to an existing wildlife corridor and proposed wildlife tunnel for mountain lions under the freeway would be detrimental to their function with the accompanying lights and noise. Another issue contributing to our awareness over more horse ranches here is that many domestic animal keepers use poisons to control rodents that are attracted by animal food in their barn. The poisoned rodents are eaten by bobcats, coyotes, and hawks, who then become sick and die. With fewer natural predators, the rodents thrive and require even more poison to control. Awareness of the awful effects of using anticoagulant poisons have led to many local governments to regulate or forbid their sale. We'll be asking the city to follow along with that. The bottom line here is that we have plenty of horse ranches and not enough mountain lions. If it comes down to rewriting the rule of highest and best use now, then so be it. Thank you.
My apologies, the order was out of order. Our next speaker is Mary Weisbrock, followed by Joe Yacobo.
I'm going to move.
Easy. Mary Weisbrock with Save Open Space. Please turn to the first page, the legal page, where it shows that Save Open Space Santa Monica Mountains joined Old Agoura homeowners in the legal action. The press release went out from Agoura Hills incorrectly only identifying Old Agoura on this lawsuit. And Save Open Space was an integral part of the lawsuit. Then if you turn to your next page, in this handout, there's a map. It shows the very, very short barriers in the Calabasas landfill. Almost the entire western side has no barriers. And then Agoura Hills is off to the west. The next page shows you the closest Calabasas landfill well to Agoura Hills. CA04 is the title for this well. And the next page, and I'm showing you all these maps again. Some of them are repeats because Dennis and Bill missed the last meeting. And it shows where the 260,000 tons of hazardous waste was put into the landfill. All on that western side, and the barriers are below or mostly above this 260,000 tons of hazardous waste, and that's only from the years of 1972 to 1980. This page was done from the deep well testing, and the results for CA04, that's the well closest to the city of Agoura Hills, is 553 parts per billion of hex chrome. This is the hex chrome that our native Aaron Brockovich, this is 150 times the value of what Aaron Brockovich found at Hinkley. It's also 10 times the proposed limit, the state of California limit for hex chrome. And then the next page is amazingly, your consultant, Rincom, took a water sample, and they only did a brief survey, not for all the hazardous chemicals, but they found uranium at 62.6 picocuries per liter on the property. This is 3 times the maximum contaminant level. We've asked that our geologists be involved when you pick a spot to put a well down, and hopefully this well will test for all the hazardous chemicals that were dumped at the landfill, and I have records of what was dumped there. Plating waste were dumped there. That might explain the hex chrome. Is that it?
Please wrap up.
Oh, okay. And rocketine waste were dumped there, and that might explain the high uranium. And lastly, the national health goal for uranium is 0. There is no known fully safe level of uranium. That's on your last page. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Joan Yakavone, followed by Nona Green.
Joan Yakavone, 27328 Country Glen, Agoura Hills. I'm kind of the pickle in the middle here. I've got another topic. Mayor Kohler and council members, next Wednesday, January 15th, the Los Virgenes Homeowners Federation is hosting a comprehensive water forum for the public at the Agoura Hills Calabasas Community Center. The purpose of the forum is to provide information about the new water project being considered to address California's complex water issues. Experts disagree on how to ensure that Southern California has the water it needs while protecting the interests of the northern part of the state, and specifically the Sacramento Delta. Currently, there are 3 proposals, and I didn't name these proposals, they're kind of interesting. The Bay Delta Conservation Plan, which proposes 2 tunnels for the conveyance of water, the Portfolio Alternative, which proposes a single tunnel, and the Responsible Experts Plan, which advocates no tunnel construction. Proponents supporting each of these plans will be available to present the alternatives, address the costs, and discuss the environmental impacts. It is important to all of us to understand the alternatives, as this will be the most ambitious and expensive water project ever undertaken by our state. It will affect all of us. So I urge anyone who can attend to attend the forum next Wednesday at the Community Center at 27040 Malibu Hills Road, right behind the Sheriff's Station, on Agoura Road at 7 p.m. Thank you. Any questions?
Our next speaker is Nona Green, followed by Chris Nitz.
Thank you. My name is Nona Green, and I'd just like to suggest that we don't wait on the issue of banning rodenticides in Agoura Hills. I know that many of you are aware that it causes secondary poisoning in carnivores and raptors, and it's pretty much destroying our natural ecosystem. And I'd like to see a resolution banning its sale and have that resolution or that ban extend to commercial pest control operators. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Nitz, followed by Stacy Goldstein.
Hi, Chris Nitz, 6040 Chesborough Road. members. I'm a new Agoura Hills resident. I moved here with a rural atmosphere and a sense of community into the forces. So you can imagine my disappointment when I come to find out that some elected council members mock and mislead their constituents, side with developers versus their own community, and are pro-development. I did not move to the city for the high-rise condos or frequent mansions to be built on crucial wildlife corridors. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Stacy Goldstein, followed by Larry Brown.
Hi, Stacy Goldstein, 5330 Chesborough Road, Agoura. And I don't want to take up a lot of time. I just want to say how disappointed and disturbed I was to find that an email that I had sent out to all the city council members was forwarded to a facilitator of the developer with the comments, "Check this out," 5 exclamation points. And I feel that it was very unprofessional, as well as a bit of a violation. If I had wanted it to go public, I would have sent it a different way, but I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Larry Brown.
No selling Jesse Raphael jokes, please. Greetings, I'm Larry Brown. I live on Country Glen in Liberty Canyon. As a former friend and supporter of Councilman Weber, one of my greatest disappointments is that for years I told people our politics were as different as night and day, but I knew he would follow his conscience. I don't believe that anymore. And although it saddens me to say so, the facts regarding Chesborough Meadow don't support that conclusion. His actions were clearly unethical, possibly illegal, and morally reprehensible. There are many business owners locally who are as disgusted as I am, but are too afraid of reprisals to come forward. This is the atmosphere you've created. It's got to stop. Old Agoura offered to negotiate a short pay to clear the title, but City Manager Ramirez steered them away. Old Agoura and SOS were excluded from financial talks, even though they had skin in the game, and nobody was notified about the RFP. We repeatedly asked, "What's the hurry?" And that resulted in Mayor Weber's ridicule, sent in emails from his cell phone to his crony Don Dusablon, some of which were dated more than a year before the settlement. I don't remember anybody voting for Don Dusablon. The Brown Act was not designed to provide a smokescreen behind which to hide clandestine misdeeds. You said you were gaining oversight, but that was a lie. Your developer buddy is spitting in our faces by saying if there's too much oversight, he will simply ignore you and us and go around you. Most citizens are aware of the ethics lawsuit regarding City Manager Ramirez, who used city employees, vehicles, and materials at his personal residence in TO. But very few citizens know that the city coughed up $300,000 to settle it. The Agoura newspaper invoked the name of the city of Bell, calling it a backdoor play, and said any settlement should come out of Ramirez's own pocket. Many city managers would have been fired on the spot, but somehow ours got a raise. At this point, however, this seems right in keeping with the manner in which the city does business, and it appears that the city manager and the former mayor have conspired to sell this council a bill of goods. Having given up everything in exchange for almost nothing, this deal makes no sense, unless of course there is a quid pro quo hidden within it. Your lack of ethics opens the door to all sorts of suspicions. We know that the Dusablons contributed generously to the Weber campaign, and many folks cannot help but wonder if there's some outside arrangement. When I look at these actions, believe me, I do not hear the Star-Spangled Banner playing or the flag waving. I see the same myopic lust for commerce that enabled Councilman Weber to endorse the likes of Alex Soteris for this very council. In light of well-documented ethical improprieties, I believe Councilman Weber should do the honorable thing and resign. City Manager Ramirez should be fired and replaced, and this council should revisit the concocted grounds on which the sale of Chesborough Meadow was railroaded through. There's going to be a lot of publicity about this in the near future, so if you're having any second thoughts, I suggest you switch sides now and go with the good guys. Thank you.
I have no further speaker cards.
Okay, thank you.
That takes us to our public hearing for this evening, which is number 10 on our agenda.